The reason you might not be where you want to be, well, one of the reasons could be you just don't want it bad enough. You haven't reached that point where you're willing to let go of what was, or you're willing to let go of the average or the okay or the just getting by, mentality, or the, well, I have just enough, or this is okay, or it's not the best, but at least I have, if you're using those terms like, well, at least we have, you're coming from a lower place. You're coming from a place of compromise. You're actually coming from a place of tolerance in those areas, because you're never going to change what you continue to tolerate. So you almost have to become so obsessed with what it is that you're striving for. I know that sounds different. The world says, oh, you have to have a totally balanced life. Well, certain seasons are really out of balance. Like if you are dealing with a lot of health problems, you might need to change your diet quickly, and you might need to do what you have to do for a certain period of time. You might have to become so obsessed with healthy activities and healthy eating to reverse years of damage in your body, to change years of habits. And sometimes if we have habits for 10 or 20 years, it's going to take more than 6 months probably to change those, because the first 6 months is a fight, especially the first 3 months of changing habits. You're in like a battle. You're in like you are battling so much. You're like in this area where your old self, which is your subconscious, you're like trying to hold on to something. As your new self, you're consciously trying to move out of it. So there's like this battle until you actually are like, oh, I'm finally broke free from it. It's a struggle. So the first 3 to 6 months of any type of big change after years of habits, it's a struggle during that time. But after that, if you can push through that terror barrier, push through that uncomfortable barrier, you almost have to be like, I'm just fed up. I'm out of this. I'm not tolerating this anymore. And then you break free from it. It's like you pushed past that veil. You push past that wall, that's holding you back. It's like the freedom is on the other side of that. So you have to become so obsessed, the desire has to be so strong for what it is, whether it's health or freedom or prosperity or a healthy family or a strong marriage. You have to be all in. And when you get to that point, people around you are going to talk. They're going to say, oh, well, this looks different. This is so, you're, who are you? You're getting obsessed. Like you're too this, you're too that, whatever. They'll say so many different things might come out. You think you're better than us. You're self-righteous. You're on a high horse. You're greedy because you want more. Let them say those things. Let them speak, and just turn it off. Like you don't have to answer the call. You don't have to respond. You don't have to explain to them what you're doing, why you're doing it, how you're doing it. Like don't even share the process. Sometimes when we're sharing the process, we're opening ourselves up. So don't share the process. Like if you're tender and you might fall back, or the somebody close to you might say something they don't agree with you, then just don't share it. Do what you know needs to be done, and confidently. Do it confidently too. Like move confidently. Stop second guessing yourself. If you're rooted in godly values and you're rooted in a righteous way of thinking, and you want to please God and you want to walk a righteous path, then don't second guess yourself. If you're not, then maybe you do need to, because then your old self might be lying to you. But if you're rooted in the right things, God will take that purity of heart and that desire for wanting more, and he will expand it, and he will help you do the things that need to get done. But you have to physically take the action to do it. You have to be the one that moves. We always want things around us to change before we change, and it's backwards. You change before the things around you change. You have to change first. So in order to have a different experience in life, you have to do different things. You might have to change your habits, your routines, when you wake up, how you wake up, what you do. You might have to rearrange when you drink coffee and when you don't. If you're a social drinker, you might have to put that aside. Like, depending on what it is that you're battling or what it is you're struggling with. If you're battling with depression, You might need to find more purpose. You might need to get around positive people. You might need to get a pet. You might need to move to a sunnier place. All of these things might need to take place for you to come up higher. And a lot of times we think it's selfish to want to be happy. Now, life's goal isn't myself being happy. That is not, you're not here to make yourself happy. But the results of living a good life is joy, is happiness. And that's not a bad thing. Like, God wants us to be full of joy and happiness. There's seasons where there's going to be sorrow and difficulty and different things, but you are in control of your behavior, your attitude. You're in control of what you're grateful for. You could look around and find 10 things right now that you are grateful for, from a clean toilet to running water, to an air-conditioned house, to nice bedding, to laundry, to appliances in your home that work, to healthy kids, to living in a certain place, to just laughter in the background, birds chirping, sun shining. Like, there's so many little things that we have to be happy and grateful for. And that connects us with the heart of God. Gratitude connects us with the heart of God. It's like the simplest, easiest path to be connected to the heart of God. So you want to engulf and engage in those things that connects you with the heart of God. The hard seasons are just seasons. They only last for a little bit. They're a time and a place. They're things that happen. You have to move past those. Don't make it harder on yourself by holding on to things that are keeping you, that are pulling you back and that are keeping you in a lower spot. Don't hang on to those things. You got to let those things go. And you have to be willing you got to be willing to let those things go, but you have to be willing to take action in the opposite direction. So if you don't like how your body feels, you got to get moving. The first thing is to get moving, get sunlight, drink water, like simple measures. I'm always talking about simple things: rest, water, sunlight, nature, walks, meditating on the word of God, like really doing things. And sometimes those times might be increased. Your meditation might turn into deep prayer. It might turn into an emotional cry. It might turn into an experience where a lot of baggage is being lifted. Just like a walk might turn into a run, or a working out might turn into a season where you're really pushing some weight. So things can intensify depending on where you're at and how much you allow it. Like, if you work out a little bit every day, it might keep you in good habit. But if you do 90 days of really hardcore, get your body in shape, you'll make more of a difference in your body, I think. I mean, it's the little habits done over time, but sometimes you need those season of spurts where you're like, I am pushing this season, I am all in, and I'm going for it. Like when people are getting ready and they're training for something, they're like preparing, they're all in for it, and they know it's only for this certain period of time. They're not training their whole life for that thing, but they're doing it for a certain period of time. So it's an intensified season. So how do you start? Well, you start by first letting go of the things that aren't serving you. Okay. So you got to take inventory of your life. What are areas that you spend your time in? What are things that you're engaging in? What are things you can cut out to simplify? Are you driving back and forth to a store that you have a high return rate at? Like, I used to do that where I would go to Home Goods. I started realizing I have a very high return rate at Home Goods and Target. So really, I need to stop going because it's doubling up the drive, the gas, the drive, the time, the standing in line. And then most of the time when you're returning, you find something else. Oh, this is cute. I'll just browse. And then you start browsing and you find something else. Then you're like, I really don't want this. Or you get home and you realize, oh, it was in Home Goods because it has a chip or a scratch or it's defective. And a lot of their stuff is just lead painted, very, very high lead painted and design. And you're bringing that into your home, and then you're taking in all those toxins into your home to fill it with more stuff, to think, well, this is going to really make my home look good and feel good. Well, it's not. Buying more stuff isn't going to change your home. Like, it's not going to make this huge difference just by buying more stuff. You have to cultivate a different mindset and a different way of life. And when you cultivate a different way of living and a different mindset, your habits will start changing, because though you won't want those lower things anymore. Like, I don't want to go to Target anymore. I don't care about the new Studio McGee drop. To me, it's a bunch of junk. I want to take the time and curate and pick what I want for my home and my life. I'm not rushed to do it. I'm not allowing that store to tell me, oh, well, there's all this new stuff. You better get here before it sells out. And then you're functioning in this fear, in this rat race of, I have to go buy this stuff. I have to get it before it sells out. It's overpriced junk. Like, there's nothing special about it. It's going to be in Goodwill in 6 months. You will find it in all of the thrift stores in a year, probably for the same price, because the thrift stores aren't even that cheap. So it's a mindset shift. It's a mental shift that you need to you got to cross that line and say, I'm not going to allow these things to tell me how to live and to tell me when I need to wake up. It's like if you wake up and you check your email and then you get an email of a sale and then you click on that sale and then you buy something. So they just controlled your morning. That email just did exactly what it needed to do. Instead of you getting up and saying, nope, this is my morning before I do any of this, I'm in control. And I have my little routine that I do that maybe takes 30 or 60 minutes. So you have to be in control. Now, it's not going to happen like that all the time. There are seasons for me. I know I talk a lot about simple living, but there's seasons for me where it's not that simple. Christmas, that's a time where I don't want to pull back. I'm like, this is my time to shine. I want to put on some nice ornaments. I like Christmas music. I want the home to smell good. I got candles lit. I got Christmas lights up. I'm decorating. I'm creative. I'm cultivating this season of beauty and abundance. I love the cozy layers. That's the only time of year I bring out reds, and I love it. But it's not the whole year, because right after Christmas I go into a real barren season, and I'm like, okay, it's time to pull back. I'm overstimulated. I've listened to too much Christmas music, and I've had enough. But leading up to it, boy, do I look forward to it. I'm looking forward to it right now. I'm already thinking about how many Christmas trees can I fit in this little apartment that we have now. I could probably fit 3. It's fun to decorate that during that season. And again, that's my thing. I love it. So I don't like really holding back. That doesn't mean I'm going to charge 10 grand in debt. I'm going to reuse what I have and maybe pick up a few new pieces like I do. And that's it. But again, it's seasons. It's a certain time of year where you allow yourself to get creative. There's seasons, there's birthday parties, there's weddings and events. You can't just pull back and be boring all year long. But the point is to the boundaries, or the creating a simplified life has to do with what you allow in your life and what you don't allow. It has to do with compromise. It has to do with what you tolerate, what you don't tolerate. It has to do with what you do daily, like your thoughts and your mindset. Are you rushing in the morning? I don't like rushed mornings. I don't like waking up and feeling like I have to be somewhere. In fact, I just can't stand that. That's one of the reasons why we don't go to school, and I don't rush to go to church every Sunday. I know some people might not agree with that, but we don't. I like to stream. I like to have one-on-one conversations. I like to connect with people on a deeper level. And I don't want to be obligated that I have to go somewhere all the time. I know it sounds weird, like, oh, well, if you have a job, you have to show up. Yeah, you do, but we've just created a life where I'm able to work from home. So again, we went down from 2 full-time jobs with 2 cars and a house and stuff, and we limited it to an apartment. We went down to 1 car. Now we're down to 0 cars because we realized we don't hardly even drive. In fact, we can Uber once a month when we need, and we do grocery delivery. So we really simplified life in all areas. And I was able to start a business from home while I homeschool the kids. So we're cutting out driving the kids to school. We're cutting out 2 car payments, 2 insurance payments. We're cutting out the gas to get somewhere, the time that it takes to drive on the freeway to get to a job, the clothes that I would need to get to a job, to get up, to do it, to maintain a house, or to maintain a lifestyle. So I'm trading my life just to maintain a lifestyle while never being ahead, because you're always trying to get ahead, right? So many people are like, well, I'm trying to get my house paid. I'm trying to get this done. We have repairs to do on the house. We have to do this. You're always behind because there's always something that comes up. The kid needs dentist, orthodontist, there's a doctor bill of this, they grew out of their clothes, they need new clothes. I mean, you name it. So I was just like, okay, I don't want to do what the world's doing. This sucks. This way of life totally sucks. Getting up, rushing, Like you're just rushing through life to go from one place to the next. And then the pressure of, are your kids in sports? What are they involved in? Well, no, they're not. My kids they don't like sports. I mean, you're always trying to live up to somebody else's expectations while you trade your own life. It's so stupid. And people always have something to say. They always have an opinion. They always think you should do something. You should do this. You should do that. And it really just becomes a big waste of time. So you gotta hone it in, bring it all in and realize, well, what works for my family? What works for my family may not work for someone else's family. But again, trading our life for both parents to work, to have the kids in school, to then hire a nanny to be there, to then fix our schedules to be home, to have 2 car payments, to have a house that constantly needed repairs, to drive back and forth to work, to have 2 insurance payments, 2 car repairs or, gas and maintenance and all of those things. For what? For time to pass you by while you struggle to maintain something that you're going to not live with, you're going to die without anyways. You're struggling to maintain a life that is not coming with you in the end. You can't bring that with you. So what is it that you're chasing? What is it that you're fighting for? For me, I want freedom and simplicity in life and health and abundance. I want joy and laughter and peace. I want a strong relationship with the Lord. I want my family to be close to God. I want to do what God's called me to do. I want to run my race. I want to feel good. I want to wake up feeling pumped, full of vitality. I want to wake up feeling grateful, not stressed and run down and beat up and exhausted and never feeling like you can catch up and always behind and overloaded and full of anxiety and then depression. And there's all these things that have to get done. But you're allowing that. That's what I'm trying to get to. You are allowing it. You are doing it. You have to be, if you don't want to allow it, make a change. It's hard, but you can do it. You can make a change. You can go through seasons of sacrifice if you need to get caught up on some bills. Go through those seasons. Go through seasons where you're not eating out and you're limiting what you put in your body if you need to get your body in order. Go through seasons where instead of being on the phone or TV, you're working out. Get rid of your TV if it's that much of a temptation. Just get rid of it. You can always buy a new one. But if that is the cause of the temptation, you got to let it go for the time that you're going to do something else. You're replacing that time with something better. You're replacing that time with something that's actually going to benefit you, benefit your kids, and they're going to see, well, there's a change, there's a difference. What mom used to tolerate, she's not tolerating it anymore. And at first, they're going to push back on it. Where's the nacho chips? Where's the Cheez-Its? Where's the gummy snacks? Where's all this junk? Well, we're not eating like that anymore. Well, that's not fair. That was my favorite. I loved having a bologna sandwich with chips and apple juice. Yeah, I'm sure you did, but we're not doing it anymore. So during that time of change, it's really difficult. But then after, they'll get on board because they will start feeling better. It's what happened with my kids. They started feeling better, looking better, sleeping better. Their stomachs didn't hurt. Their behavior was better. Their attitudes were better. Everything was better. And so when you make those changes, everybody on the ship, everybody in your house benefits. So if your spouse isn't on board, you do it till they get on board. That's what I had to do. I did it until my spouse got on board. And when he got on board, it becomes much easier. It took a little bit of time. There's always going to be a little bit of resistance. People always want to hold on to what they love. But you can do it regardless. Oh, my husband doesn't want to work out. Well, that doesn't mean you can't. Oh, my husband doesn't want to go to the gym with me. That doesn't mean you can't. Well, my husband likes, to watch TV. Doesn't mean you have to watch it. Stop making an excuse because the person closest to you isn't supporting you. They're probably not going to support you. My husband didn't work out when I worked out. Oh, well, now he does. So it's you have to do what it takes regardless. It doesn't matter, oh, well, the man's supposed to be the one to lead. Whatever. Right now, if they're not stepping up to do it, you do it. And if you're a man and you're listening to this and your wife's not stepping up to do it, you do it. Oh, she's spending too much credit cards. Close the accounts. Cut them up. Don't give her a way out. Well, that's going to cause a fight. Well, at some point, you have to want breakthrough in freedom. At some point, you have to want breakthrough. You have to get to that point where I'm willing to do what it takes. I will close the accounts and cut up the cards, and I'm not gonna, spend, because you gotta want freedom in life more than you want stuff, more than you want to please the people around you, more than you want to stay doing the same thing every day, more than you want more of the same. You have to want better for yourself and your family. And to do that, you got to be bold. You take a lot of heat for it. A lot of people will probably be mad at you for it at first. I lost friends over it. I even had some close friends tell me that I was being selfish for doing it, because to them it looked selfish. To me, I knew I had to carry my family to freedom. I knew I had to make changes. I knew if I didn't do it, they weren't going to do it. And we're not friends anymore anyways, by the way, because I'm not going to tolerate that. I don't tolerate people talking into my life from a lower level, or people like coming in and sowing seeds of doubt. I just don't tolerate it anymore, And I just stopped talking. Stopped talking to them. I just said, no, this isn't going to work. I'm sorry. This friendship is not going to work. This relationship is not going to work. And, man, people could be like, oh, you are so ruthless and mean. Yeah, well, you have to figure out what you're going to allow in your life. Are you going to allow people to slow you down? You're going to allow people to get you off course because they're jealous, or because they have their own insecurities or their own problems that they're not dealing with? Those are the same people that will take your problems and spread it all over the place. They're the same people that will gossip behind your back, that will take every little failure that you're going through on the way. You're going to fail on the way to where you're going. Those same people will take every single failure and they will throw it in your face, stab you in the back. They will do it. So you have to figure that out up front. Like, okay, this person's not on my team anyways, so why am I dragging them along? Because I still want them to like me? Who cares? God will bring the right people that sharpen you, and the people that aren't going to take your failures or your mistakes or the stumbling that you go through. You're going to stumble on your way to where you're going. Anytime you're reaching higher levels of altitude, it's bumpy. There's bumpiness. That doesn't mean that you're crashing. It just means there's a little bit of bumpiness, and you have to keep going. And the bumpiness is because you haven't experienced it before, so you're navigating through. So you want the people who are going to root you on. Hey, you got this. I'll even do it with you. We're going to do this together. Yeah, we're pushing through. Friends sharpen each other. Friends don't want you to crash. That's not the right friend. My phone's about to overheat, so I'll talk to you later.